Let's review together the account of Jesus before Pilate. Now, I had told the whole big story to lead up to it. I'm not going to review that because I want you to focus on Jesus before Pilate. But I'm picking up here, Jesus was first brought on trial before Caiaphas the high priest. He was brought there. And when he was there, do you remember what questions Caiaphas asked him? Now Peter made it in there, but do you remember what he was accused of? Well, all kinds of false witnesses came up, and first they didn't say anything good, but there were two that came forward. Do you remember what they said Jesus had said? They said Jesus would do what with the temple? That he would destroy it. It would be destroyed, and he'd raise it again in 3 days. But he wasn't talking about the temple. He was talking about his body, how he'd rise from the dead. Now Caiaphas, he said, aren't you going to answer them? And then he finally asked him a blunt question. He asked him about who he was. And what did he ask him? He asked him, are you the Messiah, the Son of the God? And what did Jesus answer? He said, yes, I am. In fact, you'll see me coming in all power on the last day. And what was Caiaphas' response? What did he want to do to him? Well, first of all, he did something with his clothes. What did he do? He tore his clothes. And then what did he say? He said, that's enough. Blasphemy. You can take him away. And when he said, what do you think? What did everybody respond? Everybody said what? Everybody said, he's worthy of death. They wanted to kill him. But the problem for them was they didn't have the right to kill him. The Roman government was in charge, and the Jewish leaders couldn't put someone to death. So they had to bring it to the Roman governor. And you remember his name? It was Pontius Pilate. Sometimes we just say Pilate. We say his name when we say the Apostles' Creed. Now the soldiers, they took advantage and just did terrible stuff to Jesus. And they mocked him and hit him and slapped him. And this happened the whole time. And then they brought him to Pilate, though, to the governor of Rome. And Pilate was a smart and a calm guy, but he wasn't a religious leader. And so Jesus was brought before him, and when the religious leaders were in front, they accused him of all kinds of things. But he just wanted to know, are you the king of the Jews like they say you are? What did Jesus answer him? He said, yes, I am. Not a physical king, but a spiritual king. His kingdom's not of this world. All kinds of false accusations came in from the chief priests. They didn't even want to go in there because he was a Gentile. And Pilate was waiting for Jesus to respond, and Jesus said what? Nothing. Pilate said, you want to answer now? And what did Jesus say then? He said nothing. And what was the response that Pilate had? The Bible says he was amazed. He is like crazy. He wasn't acting like anybody else, and Pilate knew he was innocent. So what was Pilate's plan? What did he hope to do? There was a custom that Pilate wanted to use to get Jesus off. It was that the crowd could choose to release somebody. So he asked him, Barabbas or Jesus, who do you want to go? And do you remember what the people responded? The chief priest got them not to say Jesus, but he said Barabbas. And then he asked, well, what do you want me to do with Jesus? And what did the crowd say? They said what? What should they do with him? Crucify him. And when Pilate asked, well, what do you want? I mean, what crime did he commit? What did they answer? They said, not a crime, but they said, crucify him. And so Pilate knew he was smart. He knew he was in trouble here, kind of a riot going on. And so he said he was going to make himself look innocent. Remember what he did with his hands? He washed them, right? So you kind of washed them and said, I'm innocent of this man's blood. And then the people said, let Jesus' blood be on us and on our children. And in a couple different ways it was. And then Pilate gave what final command? He said, take him out, release Barabbas, I'll do what you want. And he let Jesus' head to be crucified to pay for the sins of the world, even though he was absolutely innocent. And that's the account of Jesus before Pilate.